Hello everyone, my name is Saurav Sharma. I'm a certified instructor here at ASM Educational Center in Rockville, Maryland. We offer training on areas like cloud computing, computer networking, security, etc. You can check out more about us at asmed.com. Now let's get started with today's lesson. In this lesson we will be encrypting our files that we upload to M with server-side encryption. So what is server-side encryption? Before we talk about server-side encryption, there are two types of encryption that you can do that you can use on your files that you upload, and that is client-side and server-side encryption. So server-side encryption is basically there to protect your data at rest. So client-side encryption means that I encrypt my file locally on my machine, and the encrypted data, which no one can see without a key, I upload that to S3 because I can do that directly, so that when I send the stuff to S3, it's already encrypted, so I'm good. Now, server-side encryption is limited to the options that Amazon provides us, and server-side encryption will be our focus in this lab, because client-side encryption, you can use any tools that you like, you want, or you prefer, but server-side encryption, we only have few options within S3. Now, inside of server-side encryption, there are three options on Amazon AWS. Those are server-side encryption S3, which is like a one-click encryption. You just say, I want this file to be encrypted, and it will be encrypted at rest. There is also server-side encryption using KMS, Key Management Service, and we can use the key that we create and manage. We'll look into that as well. And finally, we have server-side encryption using customer-provided keys. So we won't be encrypting, but we will be providing our keys when we upload an object. So the third option is not available in the console. So and we will look into the console right after this. The third option is not available on the console. So using this will give you an extra. Doing this lab will give you an extra way to encrypt your file. Now in this video, I want to show you what happens when I try to encrypt a file with the console. So I'm inside my bucket that I call my bucket S3 encryption. I'm going to click on this. Now when I say upload, add files, I'm going to select a random file, next. I'm going to say next, and in here on the set properties page, I can see on the encryption section right here, I get three options. One is none, one is Amazon S3 master key, one is AWS KMS master key. Now, if we go back to this slide here, you will see that we're missing one option, and that is the server-side encryption customer provided keys. Now you can translate the S3 master key as the S3 right here. You can translate KMS master key as KMS. Now we don't have this option, the third option, SSE-C, on the console. So when we do the lab, we will be doing all three encryption. So you will learn something that you can't do on the console, which is awesome. So I'm gonna say next. Well, I'm gonna encrypt this file with the first option, S3 master key, and as you can see, I don't get to choose anything. Next, upload. So it's like a one-click encryption. Amazon manages the master key. I don't have to worry about anything. I just click encrypt. When I want to view the file, it's decrypted. And my data is safe at rest. Now, what if I try to upload another file? This time I'm gonna upload this file, next, next, and this time I'm going to choose the AWS KMS master key. Now when I click on this, I get an option to choose keys, right? I have extra option to choose keys. So if you haven't created any keys by yourself, then you might only see this option, AWS/S3, which is a key created for you that you can use within the region you are in. Now this key is key that is created by me, and we'll look into this in the next lesson, but I'm going to choose the first option for now, right? And as you can see from this option, the S3 master key option, we get to choose something, right? I'm choosing a key to use, and now I could also choose this key, but for now I'm just going to choose the S3. Next, upload. Okay, now I'm going to click on the first object. I'm going to see that the properties encryption is AES256, right? What if I click on the second object? Encryption is AWS KMS. Now I can also click on this and I can see the KMS key ID for this, right? So that's basically how you encrypt your stuff with the console, and you can choose the keys. Now we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do the server-side encryption customer provided keys, which we don't see as an option in the console on the command line interface. So I will see you in the next video. We'll start with the first option, server-side encryption, S3 master keys. Welcome back. We're going to start encrypting with the command line interface. When we upload our files to S3, I mean, we're going to start doing, performing or choosing server-side encryption when we upload our files to S3, and the first option we will choose is out of the three, the SSE-S3. And just to expand a little bit on the SSE-S3 one more time, Amazon manages the master key that is used to protect your data. So we'll go more into what a master key is and what a data key is in the KMS section of this course. When I upload that, I'll be uploading the section very soon. But for now, all you have to understand is that there is a master key that protects your data when you do server-side encryption. And in this case of server-side encryption S3 option, Amazon manages that master key. We don't have choice over the master key, So let's get started with the encryption. Now I'm into a folder with two different files, right? So I'm going to quickly create another file. So because we have three different options, I'm going to say now I have three different files: black, bucket, and white.jpg. So to encrypt using server-side encryption, when I upload a file to my bucket, what I will do is say AWS S3 copy, right? And I'm gonna start with black.jpg. I'm gonna copy this to my S3 bucket. Right now we know how to do this. Now all I need to know is to know the name of my bucket, which is right here, my bucket S3 encryption. Now I'm going to paste that. So normally if I wanted to copy or upload an object into my bucket, this would be enough. But since we want to encrypt that file, what I'm going to do is say -- SSE stands for server-side encryption, right? So enter. Okay, as you can see, the file was uploaded, right? So I'm going to go back to my bucket, hit refresh, black, server-side encryption, and that's it. That's how you encrypt your file using the SSE server-side encryption S3 option. And all you need to do for that is say dash SSE on the end of your upload command. So it's that simple to encrypt your file using the first option. Hello everyone, welcome to this lesson. And this lesson we will be creating KMS keys that we can manage ourselves. So the command that I will use to create a key will be AWS KMS create key. I'm going to put a description. I'm going to say my description my key. Right, let's try this. There we go. So that's my key. Now I get a whole bunch of stuff that I can see here. Origin, key ID, if it's enabled or not, creation date, the ARN of the key, which might be helpful when we when we try to use this key, and also the key ID, which will be helpful. Now at this point I have the key created. I can actually start using this key, and but before we use this key I want to do something, because when I say stuff like AWS KMS list keys, right? If I say something like this, if I want to find my keys, then I can see that I can see a couple of keys, right? I can see a couple of keys, but I don't know which one is which, right? I really don't know which one is which. So for that reason, what I want to do is, for the key that I just created, that I know the key ID ends with 6F, I'm going to create an alias, right? I'm going to create an alias, and so once again, alias will give my key an easy name. So for example, I can call my key, and I'll just know which one, which of my key is my key. So to understand a little bit better, let me show. So the command that I will use to create an alias is something like this: AWS KMS create alias dash alias name, and this is the format that you have to follow. You have to say alias name, say alias slash, I'm going to say my CLI key, something like this, right? It doesn't have to be my CLI key, but I'm going to call it this. And the target key ID, now here is where I'll put my key ID that I just generated, right here, right? So I just did that, enter. All right. Right, so at this point what I can do is I can list my keys one more time with AWS KMS list keys, but once more I don't see my alias. I still can't recognize my keys, right? So the thing that we can do to make our life easier is say AWS KMS list aliases. Now at this point, right? At this point I see a whole bunch of keys on my account, on my region actually, US East 1 that I'm currently in, and I can immediately find that the key I want, which is my CLI key, has an ID of this, so that whenever I whenever I want to find my key ID, which obviously I can't remember. It's a long, long character. It's like 20 character long, maybe more. Anyways, I can remember the alias. So in this case, my alias is my CLI key, and I can find the key ID easily. So what we did was create a key that we can use and create an alias for that key, so that that key has a alias name which we can remember, so that we don't have to remember the target key ID or the alias ARN or the key ARN. So I hope you understood the reason we did this. Basically, just to make our life easier. So if you want to follow and create a key, you can go ahead and create a key. But before you create a key, I want to give you a warning. Each key will cost you $1 on creation basis. So it's not prorated, right? Immediately after you create a key, you will be charged $1 per month. So I would encourage you to create a key just so that you can have a key and you can use a key. But if you don't use it, then I would say delete it in a month or so that you don't get charged $12 when you come back in a year. So that's it for this lesson. Just to review one more time, we created a KMS key. We created alias for that key so that we can find that key easily. And the command that we used was AWS KMS list aliases to get list of all our aliases. Now once again, KMS, we have the choice to select a key that we create and manage. So the key that we created earlier, we can use that to encrypt our files. Now let me go back to the command line, and this time I'm gonna upload white.jpg. We did black last time, so what I'm going to do is say AWS S3 copy white.jpg to my bucket, which is S3. Let me see if I still have, okay, I have the bucket here. Now last time we just did SSE and it encrypted our file. Now this time what we want to do is say, after SSE, I want to say AWS, right, colon KMS. So I'm saying I want to use the KMS option to encrypt my keys, to encrypt my files. So after this, we have to provide SSE-KMS key ID. Now at this point, I don't have my keys, right? So I'm just gonna press enter. I'm not gonna be able to do anything, but what I missed here was I need to find the key first, the key ID. Now from the last video, if you remember, what we did was to find the key that I want to use. I'm gonna say AWS KMS list aliases, right? Okay, now this is the key that I created in the last lesson. Now what I want to copy is the key ID right here. Now we can also use this. This key was created. You should also have something, a key with an alias AWS S3. This will be there for all the accounts. Now you can either use this or the one we actually created earlier. In my case, I'm going to show you by using both. So alias my CLI key, I'm going to use this one first. So I'll copy this key ID here. Okay. Now clear the screen. I'm gonna bring up the command that I used earlier, AWS S3 copy this. Now after the key ID, I'm gonna paste the key ID, enter, and as you can see, we were able to upload this file to the bucket, white.jpg. So if I go to my bucket and refresh, I should have a white.jpg file. Click on this, actually click on it, and you will see that the KMS ID ends with 6F, right? 6F, and this is the key that we used. Now what I'm going to try to do is upload the same file but the different key, right? So as you can see, we can also use this with an alias of AWS/S3. Now we should be able to use this, right? So once again, what I did was I'm using this time the key with an alias of AWS/S3. I'm going to copy this, and after the key ID, just like earlier, I'm going to paste this key ID now. Now as you can see, the file got uploaded one more time, and note the key ID. Since I uploaded the same file with a different key, let's see what happens now when I refresh. So the key right now is ending with B6F. Refresh, and the key has changed now. So as you can see, we can actually choose which key we encrypt our file with, right? We have more control. And when I use the key that I created, which is my CLI key, I can go deeper and I can say, you know, this user can use this key, this user can manage this key, and we'll do that later in the KMS section. So at this point, what I want to do is try to use one more key that was right here. Let's see what this does, right? So I also have one more key. I don't know if you have this in your case, but I'm gonna try to show you something. So I'm gonna copy the alias of AWS/RDS, Relational Database Service, target key ID. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna try to use this key and upload the file one more time, right? And I shouldn't be able to use this because this was created for RDS RDS service, right? Because as you can see, this is the key that I created in the earlier video. The S3 was created by Amazon for use with the S3 service in this region only, so I can only use this key in this region. Now other keys, when you see stuff like RDS and Kinesis and Redshift, you shouldn't be able to use those keys, and that's basically it. You know, there is a key that's created by AWS to use within S3. You can create your own keys, like I did here, my CLI key, and but you cannot use cross key from a different service, right? And that's basically it. This is how you encrypt by providing your KMS keys, and as you can see, you have more control of choosing your keys. So this concludes the lesson of KMS server-side encryption. I will see you in the next video where we do server-side encryption with customer provided keys. See you in that video.